I mean, private party acquisition is the only thing that I really want to run on. My name is Bryan Bough. I'm the used car manager for Dillon, Mazda, Kia, and Nissan up in Boise, Idaho.
Well, you guys have done really well at getting aggressive with private party acquisition and leveraging that aspect. And so what led you to take that route, right? What did you find out that said, hey, I need to be buying cars from the public?
If you're not buying cars from the public, you're making a huge mistake. Number one, because you're obtaining the best inventory from someone who actually owns the vehicle, takes care of the vehicle. That's the number one piece of inventory you want to bring in and try to resell. The old saying of not all cars at the auction are bad, but all bad cars go to the auction. I try to avoid going to the auction as much as possible.
With private party acquisition, I hear all the time from dealers, it's like, okay, we're getting the inventory we need, we're getting it at better margins, we don't have to put as much work into them. But the one that people often forget about is the fact that these private sellers are also consumers, and they're consumers that live in your market. So can you speak to the value of having people just come into your store, right? Especially on a slow day when you just want to build traction. You want people shaking hands, you want people coming in, and just activity breeds more activity and success, right? So how has that affected you, getting more people into the store?
It's people showing up here for me to inspect their cars and to be able to create deals that are happening in-house, not only to purchase their vehicle, but if I can turn them into buying another car by asking the right questions, it creates synergy, right? Yeah. And when you have 5 people in the showroom and one of them says yes and then the other one says yes and you got somebody who's on the fence, that energy starts building within the room and it starts getting people into the mood to say yes. Finding VetX was something that a little bit of research goes a long way. And VetX's platform was, obviously, me and you had that conversation right out of the gate. I love this. This is what I've been doing for a long time. The system makes sense, and how it operates makes sense, right? The communication not only internally with me and my assistant who's in there chasing cars, being capable of putting numbers in there without having to be face-to-face. It allows me to work from a distance if I need to, and be able to let the ecosystem keep running fluidly, even if I'm not in the building.
For a dealer that's watching this, they might think, where do I start, right? How do I start buying cars from people off of the street? Where did you start and how did you build the traction that you have now?
We started with Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, look at Car Gurus, Auto Trader. There's a lot of hiccups and things you have to deal with by, running third-party emails. Just talking to people through that email, sometimes you wind up getting blocked. Sometimes you wind up having people just kind of tell you, hey, I don't want to work with a dealer, and then they don't respond to you anymore. With using VetX's platform, obviously we get a little bit further just by having that direct communication where we're not getting blocked, and we're capable of again, having the automated text messages sent out and having people just return my phone call. And I don't even know who they are. Again, we just had a car show up from VetX, so. But it's a phenomenal thing to be able to start that process, communicate with people, be forward in your communication. Be forward focused in what you're going to do and how you plan this out, but your word tracks and your design is everything to the outcome of that scenario.
A common thing for dealers when they're working with vendors is they have to struggle with subpar support. So can you touch on how your experience has been working with the VetX team?
The support that I receive is basically daily. If I need anything, I have multiple different people I can reach out to, which the response time is minimal, and it's the right support. It's not, oh, hey, we're gonna have to set up a meeting for tomorrow. It's, hey, call my cell phone right now, let's get this figured out. That's the kind of communication and response time that we need as a dealer group, especially with the platform moving forward and redesigning itself on a regular basis. It only is going to get better, especially with the people on the ground level that work for VetX and the people like us at Dillon work with VetX. Once you find the resources for street acquisition, it's really hard to go away from. My plan moving forward is to just, continue working with the people that I'm working with now. or I wouldn't have onboarded you and the people I onboarded in the first place. I'm a long-term business type of person. I'm very transparent about what I do, how I do it. I have nothing to hide from the public. I bring people into my office and let them look at my computer while I'm buying their car. And street purchasing is where you make all your money. If you can give transparency and honesty to people and give them an understanding of what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, and what you can do to create sense in that process, you're going to build that long-term business that I speak about. And that not only goes for purchasing vehicles, but it goes for long-term business relationships as well. Hey, I'm struggling with this. I think this is the direction we need to head to get that cleaned up. What do you think? Street purchasing is probably the one thing that I advocate for more than anything else, because you're getting the best inventory that's out there.